friends, this is Jennifer Terri and welcome to my channel. In this video, we'll talk about online registrations and travel documents. So these are the things, online registrations that is required before you travel to the Philippines. Now this covers for both OFWs and non-OFWs landing in either Manila, Cebu, or Clark. Now before we start, we need to differentiate the two passenger types, OFWs and non-OFWs. Who are OFWs? OFWs are those Filipinos who are holding working visas abroad. They are those who are registered with OWA, whether they are active or inactive. Even undocumented workers will also be considered or treated as an OFW. Now, dependents of OFWs traveling together with their OFW family member will also be treated as an OFW. Meanwhile, who are non-OFWs? Non-OFWs are Filipinos who are on student visas, J1 visa holders, scholars, exchange visitor, diplomats, tourists, Filipinos who are holding permanent residence in foreign countries such as green card holders, and dual Filipino citizens. So the only difference between OFWs and non-OFWs is that OFWs get free swab tests, free quarantine hotel, food, and transportation from the government. Meanwhile, non-OFWs will have to shoulder all the costs and expenses of their testing, quarantine, food, and transportation by themselves, alright? Its own cost. But both OFWs and non-OFWs will undergo the same protocols, in which if non-OFWs or OFWs land in Manila or in Clark, they will be tested on the 6th day upon arrival at their quarantine hotel. Then once their negative result is out and their Bureau of Quarantine certificate is ready, they can go home. Meanwhile, those who will be arriving in Cebu will be tested upon arrival at the airport. They go to the quarantine hotel, wait for the result. Once the negative result is out and their BOQ certificate is ready, they can go home. So there's big difference for Manila and Clark and Cebu arrivals. So in Manila or in Clark, you will quarantine in the hotel for at least 6 days. However, in Cebu, you don't have to quarantine. You just go to the quarantine hotel and wait for the test result. The test result turned around is between 1 to 3 days. Now, let's go ahead with the essentials. What are the online registrations and travel documents that you need when traveling to the Philippines? For Manila arrivals. For OFWs landing in Manila, of course, you'll need to bring your Philippine passport and then register for balikpinas.ph. So it's better if you register before your flight, just in case your airline looks for it, because there are some airlines who will ask, where is your ECIF upon check-in? Once registration in Balikpinas is finished, you will receive a QR code on your email. For C-based OFWs, you'll register with First Aid. Next up, OASIS. So OASIS is OFW Information Assistance System. So register 5 days before your flight. So by registering in OASIS, you are providing necessary information to government agencies like POLO, OWA, DOLE, and POEA to respond to your needs, to your concerns, and provide services to you with regards to your testing, quarantine, and transportation. So very important, OASIS for all OFWs. And then, Trace app. So Trace app is for everyone arriving to the Philippines or even departing from the Philippines. If you're going through any of the Philippine airports, you need a Trace app. It is what's used as a contact tracing app for all Philippine airports. Now, download the Trace app and register on your phone. The validity of your Trace app is for 30 days. So I would say 1 to 2 weeks before your flight, start your registration. Before we continue with the online registrations and travel documents, I'd like to thank Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes on topics including graphic design, web development, freelance and entrepreneurship, and productivity. Whether you're looking to change careers, start a side hustle, or pursue a new passion or hobby, Skillshare has it ready for you. They have insights for things that matter. So one of the classes that they have is Graphic Design Masterclass by Lindsay Marsh. This is perfect for those who want to pursue graphic design. There's also Digital Illustration for All by Lassie Jordan. For self-development and productivity, check out Confidence for Creatives by Eugenia Washington. So the classes are engaging, precise, and straightforward. You can learn anywhere. So get access to thousands of inspiring classes with Skillshare with just less than $10 a month with an annual subscription. And the first 1,000 people to click the link in the description box will get a free trial of premium membership. Yes! So thanks again Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. How about for non-OFWs landing in Manila who are Philippine Airlines passenger? So if you are a non-OFW, you have to bring your Philippine passport, of course. Then your PAL Detoxicare QR code. So as early as 3 days prior to your departure, register and accomplish the PAL electronic case investigation form and save the confirmation email and QR code. For non-OFWs, either landing in Manila, Cebu, and in Clark, pre-book your quarantine hotel because you will need your hotel information for the registration of PADLAB, PAL-Detoxicare, and MCIA. So, for Manila and Clark arrivals, pre-book your hotel for at least po 6 nights. For Cebu arrivals, book your quarantine hotel for 1 to 3 days po. And then, of course, Trace app, and then balikpinas.ph. Now, you might wonder, why do non-OFWs still have to register for balikpinas.ph when you are not going to be tested by Philippine Coast Guard? And isn't that just for OFWs? Well, I had the same questions, but check this out. If you look at the form for registering in balikpinas.ph, it says, please note that any and all information inputted and submitted via this form will be reflected on your certificate from the Bureau of Quarantine. And also, if you look at the forms to be filled out, there is a non-OFW allocation. So I was also skeptical, but you know what? It's better to be safe than sorry. And for passengers of Philippine Airlines landing in Manila, remember that your swab test will cost 4,000 pesos. So you have to pay this at the airport. Lastly, Trace app. Okay? Everyone needs Trace app on their phone. Now for dual Filipino citizens who don't have a Philippine passport, you may bring your foreign passport plus your dual citizenship certificate or your identification certificate. Now let's go ahead with non-OFWs landing in Manila who are not flying with Philippine Airlines. Let's say your airline is EVA Airlines, Turkish Airlines, Emirates Airlines, and so on. If you are not flying with Philippine Airlines and you are a non-OFW, here's your essentials. Of course, your Philippine passport, then your PADLAB QR code, and Trace app. So for PADLAB, just like Detoxicare, you also have to pay at the airport. So that's 4,000 pesos. How about if you're arriving in the beautiful land of Cebu, right? Cebu Arrivals. If you are an OFW landing in Cebu, your ECIF will be upon arrival. So according to the OWA Deputy Muka Uson, OFWs landing in Cebu will be guided by their OWA staff for the manual registration of your ECIF. Although the ECIF is upon arrival, some foreign airlines will ask or will look for your ECIF for your MCIA registration. So for that, I would say it's better to just register. The registration only takes 5 to 10 minutes, so much better na po to register. And next thing you need is your Oasis registration and Trace app on your phone. Now for non-OFWs landing in Cebu, whether you are flying with Philippine Airlines or not, the registration link is the same. So, Detoxicare or Philippine Airlines testing lab does not operate in Cebu. They only operate in Manila. So even if you are a Philippine Airlines passenger, Turkish Airlines passenger, EVA, Asiana, Saudia, if you are a non-OFW landing in Cebu, the link is the same. This is called the MCIA. So complete the online MCIA passenger arrival registration form 5 days before your scheduled arrival date in Cebu. So take note of your barcode or travel reference number sent to your email address upon completion of the form. And next thing is Trace app. How about for Clark Arrivals? What do you need? For OFWs landing in Clark, it is the same, just like in Cebu, ECIF upon arrival. So no need for Red Cross. Okay, this was clarified by OWA Deputy Mukauson. She said that Clark Arrivals for OFWs don't need to register with Red Cross. You will register upon arrival manually. Next thing you need, Oasis. Oasis. Everywhere you land, you need Oasis. And then Trace app. Trace app is also mandatory. It's the same. All passengers, OFWs, non-OFWs, need Trace app. If you're worried that your airline might ask for an ECIF upon check-in, you may register for balikpinas.ph. For non-OFWs landing in Clark, whether you are a PAL passenger or not, the link is the same. It's PadLab. You will be tested by PadLab. And then you also need Trace app. Now, common questions. Are online registrations free? Yes, it's free. So what do you need to register? First, of course, you need internet. And then a phone. You can register through your phone or through computer or through tablet, laptop. But for Trace app, the app should be on your phone. Now for passport, you need to take a picture of the bio page of your passport. And then, flight details, your itinerary, your airline, your flight number, things like that. Your basic information and your medical history. Remember, make sure when you arrive in the Philippines that your phone works because your QR code will be there. Your Trace app will be there. So make sure that your phone is working when you arrive in the Philippines. If you don't have a long battery life, then bring a battery bank. If you don't have a battery bank, then save the battery of your phone. Next is make sure that all information is correct before you click submit in all registration, because one mistake in your name will cause delay. And always stay updated with the rules in the Philippines. You know, they always change travel rules, registration, protocols. It's always changing. So make sure that, let's say if you're an OFW, follow Mukauson page for information, OWA, POLO, DOLE, POEA, government pages. Follow their pages. If you are also a non-OFW, follow Bureau of Immigration website. Follow Office of the Presidential Spokesperson Facebook page. And news agencies. And make sure to subscribe to my channel. I make travel updates consistently. Now remember, if you are finding it difficult to register, you don't have to do this alone. You could get a trusted family member to do your ECIF registration in our Oasis. Okay, what's important is that they have your correct, accurate information and that they use your own email. Email is very important and you should always have access to it. So it should be your own email. And the most important thing to prepare is yourself. So look after yourself, don't get sick, and don't worry too much, okay? As long as you know what's going on, you are updated with the travel rules, protocols, then you should be alright. So that is all for this video, friends. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. I will see you again with another travel update. Bye!